Hi, I am Sanjay Patel. Today, I am going to explain how to derive polar equation of a straight line. We will deriving different equations of straight line in the polar form. In this, we start with the first theorem. Theorem 1, and in this I'm going to derive the polar equation in a particular form. So the statement is, prove that the polar equation of a straight line for which the length of the perpendicular from the pole, there is a pole in the polar coordinate system, so from the pole onto the line, the given line, is small p. So this small p is the length of the perpendicular which is drawn from the point pole to this given line, and the angle made by this perpendicular with the initial line is alpha, is given by P is equal to R into cos theta minus alpha. That is the equation of this line. So let me write, is given by P is equal to R into cos of theta minus alpha. So we are going to derive this important equation. Okay, will be useful in solving some problems. So let us start with the proof. So proof of this, first we have to do some construction to understand this. Let me consider the Cartesian polar coordinate system. We have a pole. So let me take a pole O, okay, and let us take initial line from this pole, okay, from this pole. So let me remove this. Suppose this is pole. Let me remove this also. This is the pole, okay, and we consider a line like this. Say, let me choose some other color. Say, let me take a line like this, okay. So this is a given straight line, and let us call this line as L, okay, and we want to draw a perpendicular from the pole onto this line. So suppose the perpendicular from pole onto this line is this. Okay, okay, it's not proper. And let me draw it properly. This is a perpendicular from pole onto this line. Still it is not better. Okay, fine. And let us call this perpendicular, foot of the perpendicular I am calling, say, M. This is the foot of the perpendicular, let us call it M. And we are given that the length of this perpendicular is small p, and the angle made by this perpendicular with this initial line is alpha. Okay, you know that this is initial line. This is initial line. Okay, and what we want to do is to derive the polar equation of this straight line. And remember this one thing, whenever you want to derive any equation, okay, whether it is in the Cartesian form or polar form or some other form, generally we always take an arbitrary point or a variable point on the given object. It can be a line or a circle or anything. So let us start with a arbitrary point on this line. Say, let me call it the point, say, P, and I'm taking that point, say, somewhere here, say here. Okay, and this point is in the polar coordinate system, so it has polar coordinates. We know that the polar coordinates from this figure for the point M, you can immediately say that it is P and alpha. Okay, it is P and alpha. So let me write down the coordinates of the point M. It is small p and alpha. These are the polar coordinates of this. And let us assume that polar coordinates of the point, this capital P, is r and theta. So what will be r and theta in the polar system? That r and theta will be this thing. If we join from pole to this point P, it's not better. Let us okay, so let us call this point as, this point is P. Okay, not this one. And therefore the value of the line segment OP is r, small r, and the angle made by the line segment with this initial line is theta, okay. So what can you say about the angle MOP in this figure? This angle, this whole angle is alpha, this angle is theta, so this angle will be alpha minus theta, correct? So we have this triangle OMP, which you can see here, and it is clearly a right angle triangle because this is a perpendicular, so this is 90 degree. Okay, so from this construction now we'll be able to derive the required polar equation. Okay, so let me start the proof of this. Okay, so first of all we write like this: let P r comma theta be any point on the given line, on the given line. What the next step we have done? We draw a perpendicular OM onto this line. Okay, and by the hypothesis, we have the length of this perpendicular, that is OM, this length is equal to small p, and the angle made by this perpendicular with the initial line, that is MOP is equal to alpha. Okay, and it is clear that the right angle triangle, the triangle OMP in that figure, which is a right angle triangle, this triangle is a right angle triangle. Okay, so in this right angle triangle, if I want to find in this right angle, so in this triangle, if I want to find cos of the angle O, that is MOP, what I will get here is, just a minute, yes, MOP, that is angle alpha minus theta as shown in the figure. I can say then cos of the angle say MOP is equal to the adjacent side, that is OP, upon just a minute, yes, sorry, the adjacent side is OM upon the hypotenuse, that is OP. Okay, so this gives me cos of the angle, it is alpha minus theta, and the value of OM is small p, and value of OP, that is small r. So this gives me p is equal to, small p is equal to r into cos of alpha minus theta, which is same as p is equal to r into cos theta minus alpha, because you know that cos alpha minus beta is same as cos beta minus alpha. So this is the required polar equation of a straight line. What is the important thing here? In this theorem, we get one more thing, and that is the coordinates of the foot of the perpendicular. This M is the foot of the perpendicular from pole onto this line, and the coordinates of the foot of the perpendicular is p comma alpha. Just let us write this as a remark, because it is useful. So note that the coordinates, rather the polar coordinates of the foot of the perpendicular, is M into bracket small p comma alpha. Okay, let us go to the next result about another form of the polar equation of a straight line. Okay, so the second theorem is something like this. Prove that the polar equation of a line, prove that the polar equation of a line passing through two distinct points A r1 comma theta 1 and B r2 comma theta 2 is given by sine of theta 1 minus theta 2 upon r is equal to sine of theta minus theta 2 upon r1 minus sine of theta minus theta 1 upon r2. Remember, it is easy that you can remember this equation, this formula. When there is theta 1, theta 2, we are writing r here. When theta and theta 2 is here, we are writing r1. We have three things, say r1 and r2. Same way, theta 1 and theta 2. So you can understand the pattern, how we can write this equation. Okay, the proof is very simple. So let us prove. First of all, let us take P r comma theta be any point on the straight line AB, okay, joining the 2 points which are given here, joining the 2 points A r1 comma theta 1 and B r2 comma theta 2. Fine. Okay. What I am going to do next is suppose the Cartesian coordinates, of the point P, A and B, these 3 points, are respectively say x comma y, then say x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. What is the meaning here? That x and y are the Cartesian coordinates corresponding to the polar point r comma theta. x1 y1 are the Cartesian coordinates corresponding to r1 theta 1 and x2 y2 are the Cartesian coordinates corresponding to the polar coordinates r2 comma theta 2. Then we know what is the relation between these 3, and that I am going to write first. We know that the relation, we know that the relation between these coordinates is x is equal to, if you take r, x and y Cartesian coordinates of P and the polar coordinates r and theta, then the relation is x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Okay. We also know the relation between x1 y1 and r1 theta 1 is given by x1 is equal to r1 cos theta 1 and y1 is equal to r2 cos y1 is equal to r2 sin theta 1 y1 is equal to r1 sin theta 1. Same way for the third point, that is x2, we have x2 is equal to r2 cos theta 2 and y2 is equal to r2 sin theta 2. So this is the relation between the Cartesian and polar coordinates of the 3 points given in the above discussion. So let me call this as result number 1. Now what I am going to do next is I am going to use the known result from your higher secondary about Cartesian equation of a straight line. So we know that the Cartesian equation of a line passing through a into bracket x1 comma y1 and b into bracket x2 comma y2 is, you know, it is given by the determinant, okay, of this thing x y 1 x1 y1 1 x2 y2 1. This determinant is equal to 0. So you know this equation. What we are going to do next is clear. Substitute the values of all these numbers x, y, x1, y1, x2, y2 from this equation 1. So everything, all the Cartesian coordinates will be converted into the polar coordinates. So what we are doing simply is transforming this Cartesian equation, what you are knowing from your school, into the polar form. So this gives us x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta, okay, and 1. x1 is equal to r1 cos theta 1. It is r1 into cos theta 1. y1 is equal to r1 into sin theta 1 and 1, okay, and finally this x2, that is r2 cos theta 2, y2 is r2 sin theta 2, and this is 1. Okay, so let us close the determinant. This is equal to 0. Just you have to simplify this, and you know how we can do that. So let me simplify. The simplification is very lengthy. It is nothing but just expansion of this determinant. So I am writing like this. First we take r cos theta, and this into r1 cos theta 1, r1 cos theta 1 in, sorry, not this one. We hide this row and column, so we get r1 sin theta 1 minus r2 sin theta 2. You know that this minus this. The second term is minus r sine theta into, so hiding this column and this first row, we get r1 cos theta 1 into 1, that is simply r1 cos theta 1, minus this into this, so r2 cos theta 2, r2 cos theta 2. Okay, and the last term, that is plus 1 into, just using this this point, so the third column and the first row, hiding this first row and third column, we get r1 cos theta 1, this into this, and this into this, this into this, minus this into this. So we'll get r1 cos theta 1 into r2 sine theta 2 minus r2 cos theta 2 into r1 sine theta 1. Okay, this is equal to 0. Now it's a matter of simplification only. There are a lot of terms, but if we expand and observe this very closely, we will see that we have three types of say terms, means having the multiples of r1, then say r1 r2, then r2, like that. So I will collect the terms in this manner. Say, let me take first the terms containing say r into r1. It is here, this is r into r1, first term. So r into r1, okay, into bracket cos theta into sine theta 1. Okay, and where is the other term having this r into r1 as a multiplier? It is this. Okay, so r into r1, what you will get is minus sine theta into cos theta 1, sine theta into cos theta 1. Okay, next I am going to select terms containing r2. So this is r2, here we have r, so r into r2 will be obtained by multiplying these two terms, and there is another term containing r2 is obtained from this into this. Okay, so what I will be getting here is plus r into r2 into bracket cos theta into sine theta 2, but remember it is with minus sign. Okay, so let me write minus here, and this is minus and this is also minus, so it will become plus. So I can write plus r2 sine theta cos theta 2, sine theta into cos theta 2. Okay, what remains are the terms containing r1 into r2, terms containing r1 into r2. So let me write down that term. r1 into r2 appears here in the last term itself. This is the only group which contains r1 r2. So just taking r1 r2 common, we can write r1 into r2 into bracket cos theta 1 into sine theta 2, okay, minus sine theta 1 into cos theta 2. This is equal to 0. So we have these three group of terms. Now you will immediately understand, okay, what is the this first bracket formula. If I consider, let me write this way. Okay, so this first bracket cos theta, you know the formula for sine alpha minus beta is sine alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sine beta, sine alpha cos beta minus cos alpha sine beta. So this I can write as sine theta 1 cos theta minus this. That gives me, let me write, now concentrate only on this thing. So the first group of terms gives me r1 into sine of what? It is theta 1 minus theta. The second group of terms, let me write this way, plus r2 into sine of, what is this? This is minus sign here. So let me consider this as the first term and this as the second term. So sine theta cos theta 2 minus cos theta sine theta 2 gives me sine of theta minus theta 2, correct? And plus, finally, this gives me r1 r2 into r1 into sine of theta 2 minus theta 1, correct? One has to understand the order also. Theta 2 minus theta 1 is equal to 0. Now what I want to do next is I will be keeping this this term r1 r2, this term on the other side. So let me take this on the other side. So it will become minus. So it is minus r1 r2 sine theta 2 minus theta 1. But taking negative sign inside, what we'll be getting is this, that r1 r2, let me write this way, sine of what? Theta 1 minus theta 2. Please note that when you take this term on the right hand side, it becomes minus r1 r2, but that taking minus sign inside this sine function will get sine of theta 1 minus theta 2, because sine minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. This is equal to here, what I want to do is let me write this term first, say r into r2 sine of theta minus theta 2, okay? And in this this term, what I want to do is I want to take the minus sign say outside of this sine function or outside of this bracket. So I can write minus r into r1 of sine of theta minus theta 1. You understand this? Now everything is fine. What remains is just we have to divide this whole equation by something, and that something is, I want to divide this by r1 and r2. Let us divide this whole equation both the sides by r1 r2. What will happen if I divide the left hand side here by r into r1 into r2? r1 r2 will be cancelled and you will be left with r in the denominator. So I am going to get this equation, sine of theta 1 minus theta 2 upon r is equal to, now when you divide here by r1 r2, r2 will be cancelled and you will get only r1. So you will be left with r1 only. So theta minus theta 2 upon r1, and minus, finally here what remains is sine of theta minus theta 1 upon r2. And this is the required polar equation of a straight line passing through two distinct points, a r1 comma theta 1 and b r2 comma theta 2, given in the polar coordinates system. So hence the theorem is proved. Hence the theorem is proved. Okay. So in the next lecture we'll be taking some examples based on these two equations. Okay. Thank you.